Hi guys, this is Chris here, and today I want to show you what the Sharpfire Kit in pieces, what you can expect if you buy it. First off, we have the actual breech itself. It is made to basically take the bolt assembly and hug right into it. Now this one I'm drying off with some glue right now, about to ship that out to a customer. But as you can see, this goes all the way back to where the finger joins, okay? And what this does is you push this whole thing. I'm going to take a Sharpfire here. You push it into the barrel, all the way in. When you push into the barrel, you take some go-to glue. Go-to glue is this stuff right here. It's $5 Walmart, $8 everywhere else. And you put a glue bead here, here, and here, and you push the whole thing in. You line it up to the front there, and you let it dry overnight. And when you dry it overnight, you want it standing up like so that everything goes down. Okay, the next day, you want to take this, and you want to line it up in here, and when you put that whole assembly in here, you want to line it up to this breech right here. So you want to take more go-to glue here. This makes it not really disassemblable, but there is a way of disassembling it. You can make it so that you cut this off right here and make it so that screw right there is accessible. Then you can pop this whole thing off, but this must be one piece. Okay, otherwise you're going to have a lot of problems. So then you make it so the finger and this on the inside interlock, and they're made to have a perfect seal right off the bat. So the next thing you got to do when that's done, and you can tackle either the barrel or the bolt first, is the bolt. The bolt's the hardest part, because you have to take this entire AR assembly, and you have to take this entire AR assembly, and you have to null it out. Now this little ring is a dead space remover. You throw that in there, you hammer it in, and you throw some go-to glue around it. You let it dry overnight by, once again, sitting on edge. But you do have this little finger here, so that means you're going to have to sit it on a box or something. When that happens, you have no dead space. Now this dead space remover is optional. You can choose to do that and just have that in there, and that will work just fine. Okay, next thing you have to do is glue that bitch bastard hole right there. Now, I don't recommend using a nub screw because that can interfere with the breech finger down here. And by the way, when you put the breech finger in, it has to be facing down. Okay? So then you glue this in here, and you with go-to glue, or I use crazy glue actually, and I just put a little bit of packing tape right there, and I take an X-Acto and I trim above here and in there. You do not want any glue on this top rail right here. You don't want any in there since that interlocks. Now, the next optional step you can take after this is done is you could put in the interlocking pusher. This does cost you range because you're bringing down the total area going to the dart. So if you're doing 120, 130, 140, expect 110, 120. But it's more accurate because now your barrel's interlocked, your slide's interlocked, your bolt's interlocked, your rear plunger tube's interlocked, your front barrel's interlocked. It's all interlocked in one plane. And as we know on a Sharpfire, and this is the beauty of it, is that this to this is, if you have this all interlocked, it's now all one piece when you fire it. And so I have shot from 10, 15 away, I've shot buttons off my shirt. Well, not buttons off, I've actually pushed them in and made them unbutton. It's impressive. I mean, if you got really good ammo and you got really good aim, you can really do a lot. So how do you put the pusher in a Sharpfire? Well, okay, you have to take all this off, and you have to take the rounded side over here, and here's the sharp side right here. The sharp side is already fitted to go in your breech perfectly. So this is already filed, crowned, everything go perfectly into your breech, and it's custom for each one. So if you buy multiple kits, you don't want to take one from one kit and then use another. They're for each individual breech. You want to keep these with your breech assembly and not not exchanging from one another, because they are not manufactured from like injection molding or anything like that. So you take your round side, you throw it in here, okay, and as you can see, you have a little bit of a differential there. Okay, so then you want to hammer this softly with either a rubber mallet to about until you get about to that point, and then you want to straighten this out perfectly, and you want to put it into your barrel breech that's already assembled. And do this when your barrel breech is assembled and already glued, and then have it centered. You then take that out, you throw some glue on this side over here, and you make it so it glues into there, but not through here. You take the whole assembly out, and you get rid of all excess, and you want to make sure that your gap on the inside of this is perfect. It's just a little bit more for the more experienced modder to do, and do remember you lose a little bit of performance because instead of being a big hole like that, you got this little .430 hole that you're working on. But this is really solid and interlocks everything very solid. The next thing you want to do when you're assembling this whole thing, you want to remove all the locks, and you want to take this piece right here and you want to cut it. So this finger gets cut off. Let me show you that. Here is my 21 kilogram Sharpfire. It's experimental. If you go up to 21, you have to glue the bolt to this. 18K is about the limit for it. And as you can see, the glue is right here. The barrel's right there. And this one's a double interlocking. Like so. On this one, I have my breech a little farther back because I wanted a little bit better of a seating of the dart. But it's really unnecessary. Your kit will probably go right to the edge right there, right where this is, so that it feeds better with less resistance. Okay, so here's what you want to do with this. Okay? Okay, you can see the trigger right there. Do you see how it's cut off? Basically, when you take this off, you want to cut this whole thing off. Here's a normal one, unaltered. See that finger? That finger goes all the way to your lockup over here. And it makes it so when you push it down, you can see it's hitting this side of the bolt right here. It makes it so that the trigger catch has less travel. You don't want that. What you want instead is you want it to have more travel, so that it releases from this mighty, mighty 18K spring a lot easier. Now here's the 18K spring that comes with the kit. It is a 4-inch cut down of an Ace number 62, or actually more properly called a Hillman number 62 spring. It has a little bit of a grinding there flat. I'm finding that pushing this to the back part, the back plate, is actually the best. The other thing you want to do is you want this to breathe. At least cut these to 3/16. It's optional, but as you can see, the air holes on this are wimpy, wimpy, wimpy. And remember, the air you displace forward has to be counted with the air displaced back. And if it has a vacuum to it, it will slow you down. Now, disassembling this is very easy to do. This is the easy part of my mod kit right here. Do the two corners first, okay? As such. Oh, come on, you. Do the two corners first, and hold it down with your two fingers as such. You don't want one of these going loose, or you're going to strip your screws, or you're going to break your thingamabob. Okay. Make sure they're all loose. Take the whole thing apart. As you can see, I've got two springs in here. I've got that Hillman 62, well greased with lithium grease, by the way. And I got a strong arm spring. I'm going to toss the strong arm spring for now. And I'm going to just go with this. I'm seeing that 18K, excuse me, is enough. And as you can see, you've got two coils of alignment there. So if you wanted a softer pull, because I know these have really hard pull, you can cut off a couple of coils if you like. Or you can actually just, when you're ordering, you can ask me to cut off a couple. A commission already asked me to make one a softer shooter. So basically you take this, you take off the rubber part, you line this up with about 3 or 4 lines of Teflon tape. You also have to do that on the front bolt. And I recommend putting 2 inside of here only, and then putting about 5 lines on here. Okay, you have to have a perfect feel to really get great performance. Some people don't like perfect seals, but I do, and I think it's essential. So you take this whole thing right here. This is very hard to shoot and do at the same time. You take this over here, here. Okay, you do 2 sides at a time. Okay, like so. Remember, it's like putting back on your head of your 56 Chevy. You want to do diagonal. Okay. Do not over tighten or strip the screws. And if you really think you can't handle this kit on your own, honestly, just buy it from me for 15 bucks because for 50 bucks, sorry. Because honestly, it's 35 for the whole thing. If you buy supplies for it, it's another 10 bucks. Ends up being another 10 bucks. It's another 2 to 3 shipping, domestic. I mean, it's gonna cost more to ship this, but what I'm saying is, it's gonna cost like $37 anyway just to get it. What's saving $12 or $15 gonna get you? Me, I just rather have it well built, and I do a good job. So, anywho, there's a basic rundown of the kit. I'm gonna do a more detailed video later, which is assembly, but the quality may or may not be the greatest. So, I'm not the greatest film person in the world, which eludes me because I'm a pretty good artist and engineer. So take care. Peace out.